This is Out Loud and Laughing.
I have some beef to pick with you.
Please pick your beef.
You sent me pick your beef. You sent me a Venmo payment for our podcast microphones, but you put it as public, and now I don't know. Like, what's the difference for you in terms of, like, has anybody ever paid you something on Venmo where you're like, that could have been private? You know what I mean?
That's a good question. I guess it depends on what people are paying you for.
Okay.
Right? Like what do you have to hide?
What do you have to hide? Yeah, no, I get that too. I mean, unless you're buying like drugs online from your friends, or which you could always just put a slice of pizza. I sometimes do that because it's just funny. But yeah, like I don't really care about a social feed in Venmo because, like, what if you made a mistake? Like, have you ever like accidentally sent the wrong text or
Yes.
sent an email prematurely before you finished writing it? So. I don't know.
I agree.
There's this whole idea around digital etiquette and sort of the ways that it could really change our the outcomes of what we intended to do originally, just because sometimes computers have a mind of their own.
I mean, I completely agree. I think digital, like, there's an etiquette to it, but I also think it's made things easier. But then I also think it's made things complex.
Okay, tell me more. I'm listening.
Group dinners.
Oh God, I know exactly where you're going with this. Let's go.
Group dinners.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's, do we split the check evenly and everyone just Venmos me? Do we ask for multiple checks? Like, this is something that I definitely want to deep dive into with you because I go both ways depending on my experience.
And what's funny is I completely agree. There's somebody who actually listens to our podcast, and she's a friend of mine, and she won't download like new apps for things.
Why?
I don't know. It's funny. It's just sort of part of her personality, but there's an app called Splitwise, which actually, if you got on with your closest friends, makes things like sharing a check super, super easy. It makes things like going on a trip super easy. So we had gone on a few trips. We've done a few dinners. And I was like, we should get Splitwise. And she's like, I'm not downloading a new app. And I'm like, oh, this just makes it so much more complicated. So where it like makes things easier, like sometimes people's like predispositions or attitudes like also make it difficult because not everybody's on the same wavelength when it comes to using digital for their daily correspondences or transactions or whatever it may be.
Well, people don't like new things, so that's very true. Because they're scared. But I guess going back to the dinner thing then, so it sounds like you're more of like a let's just split the check evenly kind of person.
It can go both ways, and I think it's contingent on sort of the group you're with. Don't you agree? Like if it was like work friends versus your crew versus like a family dinner, which we don't usually split. Somebody usually picks up. What are you mm-ing about?
I don't think it's who you're with. I think it's what you eat. Because let's say you show up with a group of friends and you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to get a glass of wine. I'm not splitting that check evenly. You guys all had a meal. Like, I could be that girl where it's like, I didn't order the truffle fries. I'm not paying for them. Now, I'm not going to get that nitty gritty when it comes to that shit. But I do think that, like, if everyone gets a meal, everyone's drinking, everyone's having a good time, like, split the check. But if one person gets, like, a salad, I'm not going to make that person pay more. Or, like, that to me is etiquette.
Is that digital etiquette or is that dinner etiquette?
I mean, that's friendship etiquette, I guess.
Because, I've not had a drink in almost 3 years and everybody drinks at dinner. And I'm always like, just put me on a separate check. Because by the time everybody goes on a second cocktail, that's like everybody ordering an additional entree. By the time it gets down to me, it filters down to me. I'm paying exponentially more than my meal, not including the
salad.
Tip. And then everybody's like, oh, but we'll tip. And I'm like, you don't understand. I don't want to pay for it.
Right.
Like, so
I'm telling you,
dude,
honestly,
yeah.
the etiquette of it, the most painful thing is honestly group dinners.
Well, and then
So
there's
yeah,
the you trying to talk shit about like the person who's making you pay the bill evenly on a text, and you send it on the group text instead of the person that you're trying to send it to, and that can be digital etiquette too. Oops. Better
or lack of.
well, lack thereof. You better check your group and see who's in there before you send that message.
What do you think about the new wave and everyone who's listening? I don't know if anyone's on board with this because I'm not yet. I might have to be, but we're old, John, so maybe we can just be old school.
Fair enough.
But voice notes and voice text.
Oh, I've been using voice text so much. It's why the texts that I send
Yeah?
you are novels more as opposed to responses or just simple responses. But I have a problem with that too because now it doesn't capture my sentiment and my words correctly, and sometimes I'll read something that'll say like, "Hey, I'm ready for dinner," and like it'll come across as, "Hey, I'm ready for dick," and I'm like, "Oh God, sorry, Dad," you know.
Well, it looks at your history.
Yeah,
But
commonly
so
used words.
so that is voice to text. I'm talking about people actually recording their voices and sending them as voice notes.
There are people doing that too. I've done it with them in reply, but I don't like that because
Right?
I can't go back and just sort of glance at what the conversation was. It makes it a little harder.
We keep swinging the fucking pendulum. At first it was phone calls, then it pendulums over to just text, and now we're pendulum back to phone calls in text.
You forgot about you forgot about the message, like when you had a voicemail on your real like telephone at home. What was that even called? I don't even remember what that was called.
Answering machine.
Your answering machine. It was like the TiVo of like voice recordings.
I don't know. I feel like there's none of that. And then the other thing when it comes to texting, when it comes to digital etiquette, and I'm probably the one that's guilty of this the most. But do you? And well, I think you actually are not, because you will text me and you'll text me one text. I am guilty of doing one-liners and doing 10 text.
Do you know what's so funny is I have a memory from you when AOL first came out, and I remember we were on Instant Messenger. We were at your house on that Vizio computer or whatever it was that your parents bought. I actually really loved that computer. Thought it was like, it looked like a rocket ship. But you would say to me like, "Why are you sending another one? Like, wait for them to reply." And I'm like, "Because my thought's not over." And then I think it's really funny now that you're like, I send like 9 back to back. I'm just like, every time I send like too many texts back, especially to you, I'm like, "Ooh, does he think I'm texting too much?" I really think that.
Digital etiquette. You're like question now. 'Cause
Yeah.
and that's even the worst. You probably could speak more to this recently, but like dating. Like it's one of those things where like, okay, I texted him. Now do I reply back or do I wait a couple hours because I don't want to seem too anxious? Like that's stressful.
It's stressful and it's actually weird, and how this like idea of digital etiquette has sort of entered the building of a relationship, be it friends too, right? If you got a new friend, like you don't want to seem desperate, or you know, you kind of want to feel like you know what you're doing, and so emotionally responsible, for the lack of a better term. But when you are dating, and like when I do send a text, for example, with somebody that I'm courting, I don't understand why it takes you 9 hours to respond, because when we were out to dinner on the first date, like your phone was right next to you. So like if you just said digital etiquette, "Hey, got your text, I'll reply later, I have a busy day," like cool. But leaving somebody unread, also digital etiquette, is kind of rude, right? Like I'm not sitting here trying to waste my time. So why isn't that we can just close loops for people? I don't know. Again, that's just me.
You are not wrong. The excuse saying I wasn't near my phone is literally no longer valid anymore.
No.
Like you literally just ignored the text.
It's an appendage now. It's not even like it's not even a second thought.
I'd rather you just admit it. I saw your text and I forgot. Okay, cool. At least that. But basically saying, "Oh, I didn't see it," or "I wasn't near my phone." Like now you're just making up excuses. You saw the fucking text.
You saw the text.
You saw it.
Yeah.
And you said, "Not worth my time right now." And you moved on. And I should know that.
And the people, digital etiquette, and the people who I like don't see the texts from, because you and I actually just experienced this as well. It's because we text so often. It's not because I've left you on red or left you out. It's because like through the slew of messaging that we've given each other, like it was something that I overlooked. But that to me is just more of like, I'm an idiot, and not so much, or I'm moving too fast, but not so much like that I'm trying to avoid you like some of these men on lines.
some of these online men's. But then the other thing I wanted to ask you about is GIFs.
GIFs or like GIFTSs?
GIF.
Okay.
I love GIFs.
Yeah.
GIFT. Venmo request. um, but no, like GIFs. I feel like, because fun fact, guys, sometimes John and I will only text a full day with just GIFs. We won't even talk to each other.
It's a game.
GIFs to do it. It's a fun game, but I guess you almost have to like know the person you're texting with to send GIFs. Like they have to be the right person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some people just don't even laugh about it and they almost like ignore it. And I'm like, I just wasted a perfectly good GIF on you.
Honestly, like I wasted such a good thought, and the impact emotionally is like such a letdown, because you really have like tied together like a thought, a joke, and a delivery, and like they're just gonna leave it hanging. Like give me a break. But I have another one a little bit further. GIFs at work, like when you're sending animated GIFs between colleagues at work. Do you do that?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a GIF boy, 100%. Because I also feel like I have a really special gift where I find the right ones all the time.
You have a gift for GIFs?
I have a gift for GIFs. I find the right ones, and people are always laughing, like, where'd you get that? And I'm like, I don't know. I typed in something random and it popped up, and I'm like, this is my response.
Yesterday, I was
And I run with it.
Yesterday, I was picking up something from the car with Meredith downstairs from my building, and I turned around to cross the street, and a car whizzed by, and she goes, "Oh, look out!" And so when I walked back into my building, I sent her the GIF from Mean Girls of when Regina George got hit by the bus. I thought that was perfect.
It's right. And then also,
And she laughed at it because she has good digital etiquette.
Good, right. I was driving Ollie to school yesterday. Was going through a four-way stop. I might have just rolled through it because no one was there. Fine. And all of a sudden, a friend texts me. He goes, "Did I just see you in your car not stop at the four-way stop?" Like as a joke. And I send him the Clueless where she says, "I totally paused."
That's perfect.
Perfect. And he laughed. So I'm like, thank you. That, first of all, it's digital etiquette to send the right GIF. A. Like, if you're not good at it, don't do it. Secondly, if you're going to get one, respect it and laugh at it. Because that person put thought into it.
I think in that story, sending the digital GIF was B. I think A was the courtesy that the man called you out and held you accountable for rolling through a stop sign. I think your response was perfect.
Friends take care of friends.
Friends, it takes a village, especially when it comes to digital etiquette. Have you ever prematurely sent a message that changed the context of the message? Is there anyone that you can think of? That one's probably a little harder to come up with off the cusp, but
like change the context because you read it wrong, and so you took it a different way and responded a different way, and all of a sudden the tone just completely changed.
Kind of like, or you didn't notice that like autocorrect came in and like did its little like anti-magic, and like negated the comment instead of like verify or validating the comment. Like, I don't know. Hey babe, I can't wait for you to get home from work tonight. I have a special surprise for you, and it includes dessert, winky face. And she sends back, or he sends back, a message that says, all I want to do is desert with you, or I don't know. I can't come up with anything funny right now, but you get it. It's kind of like the person sitting on the other side now. The rest of the day they're at work being like, "What did I do so wrong that like he doesn't want to sleep with me?" I don't know.
I like that. That's where you go. It's all about sleeping with someone.
I'm so tired.
I actually go to a darker place where you and I had our like really big fight a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we talk about digital etiquette, I think some things don't belong on digital. If that makes sense.
I agree.
Right? Like I texted John something that I was feeling hurt by, and then John took it his way and ran with it and gave me paragraphs on paragraphs on paragraphs of text, to the point where at some point I think digital etiquette is just get off the phone or pick up the phone, get off the text, because then what's going to happen is it's easier to say really mean things when you're writing it versus saying it. I think
so too.
Because that's why you have all those fucking trolls on like Insta and all that stuff who will say anything, but they'll never say it to your face.
Yep.
But like tone is everything, and so digital etiquette is like keep the light stuff on text and digital, but keep some of the real stuff in person or like on a phone call. Do you agree?
I most definitely agree. Yeah, I think that it's really easy to get a little carried away, especially emotionally when you're typing in real time in terms of response. Digital etiquette, like to your point earlier around convenience, gives us the ability to respond immediately. And sometimes I think time away from a digital device, time away from the matter at hand, really helps you process so that you can come back with a more mindful response. I think the fact that we have the devices directly in our hand as a second appendage allows us to respond emotionally, and sometimes that is a projection, and that's exactly what happened on my account, and I totally take accountability for that. I'm sorry, but we've moved past that. So,
Oh, 100%.
yeah.
It was such an interesting thing.
It's a great point.
It's the same thing with like emailing, right? Like you have some people that would just send you paragraphs and paragraphs of emails. Like this probably could have been a 15-minute meeting and we could have saved ourselves a lot of time.
Digital etiquette, knowing what can be a meeting and what could be an email. I love that.
Now I have a bigger topic that I definitely that's very relevant to everyone right now. It's the difference between unfriending someone or just simply muting them from your stories. Right? Because I feel like unfriending is basically telling the person, I no longer want you in my digital space, likely in my physical space either. Muting is saying, I don't want to make this a big thing, but I don't want to see you right now. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, what's your take on that?
I definitely believe that there's a difference. I mean, we didn't include blocking, which I think is another one.
True, blocking.
But I think that supersedes digital etiquette. I think that goes more into the realm of like setting boundaries and starting to get a little bit more wise as to what you allow into your world so that you don't go on a rampage digitally and start sending back those texts that like make you feel like you're six again. But there have been people sometimes whose content I'm just sort of not interested in, and so in those cases I will mute or hide their content. There are also some people whose beliefs I don't necessarily align with, but whose connections and soul connections to me have profoundly changed the course of my life, and I'm not ready to let go of those connections, and so I just sort of turn those off as well, just so that our relationship is saved. But from an etiquette perspective, I think it's sort of good on the back end, so on your end or my end, to sort of protect that piece. And like to my point, I think it comes down to like a boundary thing.
I think that's an interesting take on it because my take is very different.
Yeah, what's your take?
That only simply that I will never unfriend you and I will never block you. I will only mute you. And the only reason why I do that is not for myself, but what if I want to fucking stalk you later? If I unfriend you, I can't do that.
Oh, trust
Purely
me.
for my,
there are ways.
I get it.
There are
but
ways.
I'm like, if I unfriend you, now all of a sudden I can't go like search around and judge you.
Yeah, but digital etiquette or digital integrity. Ooh, this is getting rich. Digital integrity. Now, you've not had to block, sort of. I had to block people from like an entire chapter of my life, given the situation and the scenario. So I've been down that path. And just as recent as yesterday, I realized that somebody from that network was still available through some of my other Instagram channels because I managed 3 of them. So I went to go block them, and that's another instance of blocking. But here's the thing about the digital integrity is if you don't block them and friend them, there are some applications that show that you are looking at them. And so for my own sanity, I choose to block and then use the Googs to figure out what's going on.
I agree. I think there's definitely reasons to unfriend and block someone based on trauma or them just being a complete asshole. Yeah. But it takes a lot for me to think through like getting to that point where I'm going to unfriend or block someone. You and I have definitely collaborated and blocked some of the same people.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do. Because if they want to find one of us, they can get through one of us. But if they can't find both of us, listen to our podcast. But just saying, you guys know who you are out there, probably still stalking our little podcast. That's the only way to hear our voices, and that's okay. We appreciate that. Yeah. Digital etiquette.
Digital etiquette. Give us the listen. I love it. That's so kind. That's so digitally etiquette of you.
We are making this podcast public for those who have blocked us. Let's just say that.
Okay, I have another one for you.
Please.
Digital etiquette, using the phone around other people, be it like at your leisure when you're like at an event or dinner versus, or doesn't, not versus, just using your device around other people? What is the digital etiquette and how do you view that?
I think that's a great question. I think it depends on the situation, right? If you're at dinner with friends, being on your phone is rude. If you're sitting on your couch having a kiki, watching a show, gossiping, you could be on your phone also.
If you're
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you're at a funeral, you could be on a phone. I get it, totally.
Well, funerals are boring, so absolutely.
Yeah.
And like, what if I'm live streaming it? Everyone loves good content.
Brian, I just want to give you permission that at my funeral, if you get there, or if I'm at your funeral, I'll probably be on my phone.
John, I will hope that you're on your phone, and I will hope that you're live streaming for Out Loud and Alone.
Digital etiquette. I will be taking pictures of you from angles you would have never allowed me to take from when you were alive, and I will be sending them to all of our friends. Hashtag digital etiquette.
Hashtag I gotta go, John, because I'm gonna go on Instagram now and unfriend a lot of people that I think are just ugly. Talk soon.
You're blocked.
This was Out Loud and Laughing.
We're available everywhere you get your podcast. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeart, or wherever.